Hi, it's me, Ingridine FP, and welcome to Medical ABCs. And we're going to be talking about antidepressants. Obviously, I'm not your doctor, but I am a medical professional. I work as a resident in general practice. I do have a medical license, so I can prescribe medication and the like. I work full-time at a general practice clinic, and so I am giving medical advice, even though I'm not giving personalized medical advice, which is actually what most people need. But I understand that a lot of people avoid going to the doctor, and so I just want to impart some of my knowledge in the medical field. Take this with a grain of salt, because this is not personalized to you and your health situation, and also to your country, because I work in Sweden and things are very different here than compared to in other countries, and especially concerning the US. But let's get into it. We are talking about antidepressants, which is a very controversial topic, and there is quite a lot to say, but there are different kinds, and the biggest kind of antidepressant is SSRIs, so serotonin reuptake inhibitors. So that you keep more serotonin in your brain. Basically, serotonin is believed to be something that is good for regulating our emotions and our mood, and having more of it is better. Having too much of it leads to overdose, but having a little bit of it is good, and so these medications make sure that it doesn't get destroyed in the brain. There's a lot of theory, not a lot of proof about a lot of these things, but they do seem to help a lot of people. So let's get into it. We have different kinds, and fluoxetine is one, and there's sertraline is another, and escitalopram and citalopram are others, and there are other kinds, but those are the most common kinds, and they have different brand names. There's a Prozac, Zoloft, different kinds, Cipralex, and they all kind of work the same way, but sometimes it might be useful to switch from one to the other, because there are different side effects, and people might have different side effects. So the way that this works is that you start on a low dosage and then you go up in dosage, and usually doctors want you to stay on this medication at least 6 months after having gotten better, so that you avoid risk for relapse. So most people stay on this medication for a year approximately. Some people have to stay on it for several years, and some people take it for less amount of time, but that is the usual recommendation. Obviously there's a lot of big pharma money about this, so I mean, I don't know if I'm completely unbiased, but this is what I've learned through my books and through my medical school training and through this residency. What you have to be careful about when you start with this kind of medication, and with most of these antidepressant medication, is that the first 2 weeks are the worst weeks you'll ever experience, and you get all of the side effects. And the side effects for the first 2 weeks are often headaches, dizziness, nausea, maybe you might be even more depressed, because you might, the first thing that you get is more energy, but not better mood. The better mood comes later, and so you might get like bouts of aggression, you might get suicidal thoughts more often in those first 2 weeks. So it's important that your doctor follows you up, like calls you or checks up on you like after those 2 weeks to see like if you're okay. And then certain side effects stay, but certain stop being there. So those that stay are often sexual. Your libido is less, and your there's often this feeling of everything being kind of numb and tiring when you're on those medications, but you don't have the headaches and all of that after those 2 weeks. The effect starts after 3-4 weeks, so you can't like actually feel better until that amount of time. So that's to keep in mind. These are the cheapest, the nicest of these medications. Then we have other kinds. We have something called venlafaxin, which is called an SNRI, because it also takes the noradrenaline system. That one can be good if the first mentioned medications doesn't work. Then you go into this one. And it does have a little bit more side effects in general. Often heart palpitations or sweating might be something that might come up. But it does give a little bit more of an edge of like motivation. It like gives you more energy. So that might work for certain people where SSRIs doesn't work. Another type of medication is mirtazapine. That works in another way, but it kind of works in the same way as SSRIs, but not exactly. So it doesn't have that 2-week period of like lousiness. The only problem is that it makes you gain weight, and it makes you also tired. So that's why a lot of people take it in the evening, and it can be used as a sleep medication, and it actually works pretty well as a sleep medication in 15 milligrams or 30 milligrams. And it works well for that. And certain people with depression might have lost weight and need to gain weight, so that's actually a good medication for them. But it does make you more hungry, because it kind of makes you into like cozy kind of state where you like went to eat a lot and you went to sleep a lot. And so that's the problem with that medication. But on the other hand, you don't get like all of that other problem. This medication is very useful often for older people. And it is used as a sleep medication for older people as well. Because they can't use antihistamines, and SSRIs often don't work very well for them. So that's about those types of medications. Then we come into like a little bit more strange medications. We have voxra, and I forget what the name of that is actually. It's also used as an ADHD medication, because it helps you with like the motivation part. And I still can't come up with the name of it. Stratera, they have different names. I keep forgetting what that is called. But voxra is a little bit of a stronger medication, often used in psychiatry and not in primary care, but you can get it there. It does have some side effects, like sleeping is more difficult with that. But here we're getting into like a little bit more advanced medications. there are other kinds of medication, but I'm not going to go into them because they're not things that I prescribe. But yes, so those are the antidepressant medications that I know of. There are other kinds, obviously, and they keep like coming up with new kinds. But I hope that you find this series helpful. I'll be making a few more of these, just going through like basic topics. I want to remind you all that please like go to your doctor if you have any questions, but this is just regular advice that I give to people every day, so I hope that you find it helpful. Have a great day.